To the Westfield Leader, the Union County local source, advertised on January 7, 2016. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and promptly posted on the Municipal Public Bulletin Board and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk, informing the public of time and place according to provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231 PL 1975. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First order of business this evening is I will be giving some mayor awards tonight. Please step forward, Mr. Lisi, Santi, and Jessica, please.
Hi, I like to.
I'm going to come around. That's the spot. Hey, that's the spot. My pleasure is to offer the Office of the Mayor Certificate of Award. Empty one of these gentlemen. Certificates all say the same thing, but I'll just read it once. On Monday, July 18, 2016, while walking to the park, you came across $200 in cash in your travels. You immediately turned the money into the Colbert Police Department, reporting where it was found. The money was returned to the owners. Thank you for making the right decision with great citizenship, integrity, compassion, honesty, and discipline. Something to be proud of. Charles Lombardo, Mayor of Garwood. Is Mr. Leonard Zanardo in the audience? Can I step forward, please? You have to say the word.
I'd just like to thank them. It's good to know that there's good people in the world, because I'm not lying, I question myself whether if I found $200, if I would turn it in. But I'd like to give you guys a little something to say thank you. All right?
And your modeling new behavior.
Have a seat. Carla, please step forward.
She's not here yet. Can
Yeah, we'll delay it for a few minutes. Thank you. Okay, we'll continue on with our regular business. Borough Engineer Donald Goriello, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. The sidewalk program, I think, is finally gearing down. We've got just a few little items that have to be addressed, and that project will be complete. I'm sure everyone's noticed that Center Street's been paved, the county grant, and that project is also completed. I was happy to see that they've approved the DOT, at least the Assembly and Senate have approved the DOT Trust Transportation Fund. I don't know when they're going to release that money and when they're going to tell us to go ahead. We probably still have a little time left this year. If we get notice pretty soon, we should be able to get at least 30 after it's done. So hopefully that occurs. It's all laid out, ready to go. The contractor actually had the pipe ordered and ready to be delivered back in June, and we held it up, and so we're ready to go as soon as the state says we can move.
Thank you.
By the way, I spoke to the contractor. He's got 2 or 3 more weeks worth of work on the project he's on, and he'll be available. So, hopefully, maybe before November 1st, we can get moving.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Goriello?
Actually, I do, Mayor.
Thank you.
I know today, Don, they actually put down the yellow stripes going down on center on the area that they just paved. Is it possible for us, and I don't know how everyone else feels on council, but it seems like the trend is going in support of the police departments to put that blue line down, in the middle. Is that something that maybe we could actually get a price on from the contractor who did the striping?
Sure.
To actually do that?
Yeah.
And have it go all the way down Center Street? I don't know if anybody
You
else.
mean all the way down Center Street, or just what with the work we just did?
I don't know, how's everybody else feeling?
Because the yellow lines are pretty well bad, pretty faded the rest of the way, so.
Or can they put, well, can we get a price to fix up those yellow lines and then put the blue all the way down?
How about we get 2 prices, one just to do
The blue and then for the yellow? Sure.
That's a good idea. I mean, in the summertime, the DPW paints those lines. every other year they take care of that, so it might be something the DPW could just fix the yellow line going forward, but certainly worth getting a price on, and I generally support that.
I like
Putting the
that,
blue line.
I like that idea as well.
All right.
And it seems like whatever they do, Don, it's a better system than just the paint that we can put down.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a long lasting paint that they put down. It's not the same as what the road department does.
Yeah, well, I remember when I did the underpass, it's been there for quite a while.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. That's it.
Okay. Hearing none. Borough Attorney, Mr. Bernard.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have, and I actually, Councilman Sarno asked about this, and I explained to him last time, but I'll explain to the rest of the council. He asked about the appointments to the planning board, and I did check the statute, and the statute, which is 4055D-23, does clearly state that the Class 4 members of the planning board are appointed by the mayor. There's no option for the council to appoint members of the planning board. The appointments have to be by the mayor by statute. He mentioned Scotch Plains as an example of a town where the council make the appointment. There's a specific I'll call it exemption or different treatment of the appointment in the case of a council manager form of government under the optional municipal charter law, which is what Scotch Plains is. So the long and short of it is the state statute provides for the mayor to make appointments for the Class 4 members of the planning board. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Bernard? Hearing none, we'll move on. Ms. Ariella, do you have anything for this evening?
No report, Mayor.
Any unfinished business of the council?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Any new business of the council? I have a few small items. Due to a work commitment, I am rescheduling Mayor's Saturday to October 29th in Borough Hall at 11 a.m. I've been informed by former Councilwoman Carol Carney, our business and industry representative for the Chamber of Commerce, that there will be 2 grand opening events on Saturdays, October 29th. Of course, details will follow. They'll probably be in the afternoon. Just as a point, the magazine is Inside Jersey Magazine, October and November 2016 issue. The article is named Garwood. It's a 2-page article on 5 great places to grab chow on the road for less than $15. So the magazine is available on the newsstand, and that's not important. This evening, I am dedicating tonight's moment of silence to the mother of Councilman Joe Sarno, who passed away this morning. That's all for my report. Okay, moving on, comments or matters for discussion from members of the council. Councilwoman Kukrow.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one quick thing. I would like to make a request of the mayor and council, as we have put out bids for a financial advisor for the redevelopment project. I think based on the importance of getting the right professionals to protect the character of our town, as an advocate for the people that live here, I propose that instead of the interviews being conducted by the Finance Committee alone, as is usually the norm, I would like to be included in this entire process, as I'm sure all of us would like to be as well. The redevelopment attorney we hired was interviewed by the Finance Committee, not the entire council. I agreed with their selection and voted as such. It was only after I spoke to a half a dozen attorneys and did my own research that I came away in agreement. I was able to accomplish this based on the numerous attorneys that I do know. This selection is out of my realm of business associates to gather the complete info I would need to make the best decision I can. Considering the importance of the selection, I am hoping we can all be in agreement on this so that we can all be in the loop.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Mayor, as finance chair, I would definitely support the councilwoman's suggestion. I think it really worked out, well last time, and I appreciate you doing your homework on that so that we all unanimously supported the hiring of that redevelopment attorney. But for this particular decision, I would be totally comfortable going outside the norm of just having a committee interview. I'd be more than happy to have the whole council interview, not just my finance committee. And You know, I think the committee structure is important for many things, like contract negotiations or different policies that we have, but in this unique situation, I would be in support of what the councilwoman's suggesting.
Thank you.
I would support that as well, because we did do that one time when we did have the PBA contract, with the entire council and everything.
Okay, that's great, thank you.
That's a good idea.
And I know, Ms. Ariana, you're getting the you're getting the proposals in tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
So if we could direct you to ask those attorneys to come, the financial advisors to come to the next council meeting so we can interview them in executive session,
Yes,
that would be great.
I will arrange that.
Will we know how many with visit? Will we know how
You're
many?
gonna get them on Friday.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
She'll officially know. tomorrow.
Okay.
How many?
Yes, but
Okay.
I'm not gonna call you, you'll
Oh,
get
no, no,
everything
no,
on
I
Friday,
didn't-
cover memo.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Get
you.
your own packet, your own proposal of everyone.
Thank you
I'll
very
work on
much.
the schedule
Right.
and it'll be solidified for the next council.
Very good, thank you. Councilman Martin?
Nothing.
Thank you.
Can we
Council,
vote on that last proposal or just unanimous acclamation? I agree too,
There's no vote on that, you don't have it yet.
It's a suggestion at this point.
but. Okay.
You're gonna interview them at the
I
next
think
council
we all
meeting, then
concur
you'll vote.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, You have to vote on it.
Okay.
Right.
All righty. Councilman Matthew?
Nothing tonight, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Tedesco?
Just two quick items, Mayor. One is, I know I had asked at the last council meeting for us to have a resolution put on about urging the state to fund the Transportation Trust Fund, but considering that the state legislature passed that last week, I'll be making a motion to table that resolution 16-276. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up on that. And the other item I had, I just wanted to bring to the council's attention as we all received it in our packets and also for the public. Our administrative staff, our administrator and CFO have to complete a best practices inventory every single year. And this year, Garwood scored 90%, meaning that we answered 27 of the 30 questions in an acceptable manner and will be receiving the rest of our state aid. So I just want to thank the staff for what they've done and also just let everybody know 90% is pretty good. And so we should be happy with that here in Garwood. Thank you.
Thank you. Council President Petrozelli?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. The only thing I just want to mention to everybody on council is that just today, again, the 2002 garbage truck broke down, and this is the 7th time that this truck has broken down for similar reasons, and it's been sent to different vendors just to try to get this truck repaired properly. And we also were able to borrow a truck from Westfield in order to make our garbage happen, and it looks like that's going to happen again tomorrow. Because the last time when this happened, it was kind of a perfect storm. We had the Volvo, which is a 96 truck, go down, and now we have to put $2,800 into brakes on that truck. And we've spent a few $1,000s on that truck already, and I just wanted everybody to be aware that we're spending a lot of money on maintenance and repairs for trucks that that I believe have lost their life here as far as taking care of garbage. So just want to make everybody aware.
Okay.
Do we have like a complete invoice of all the repairs that was done to the truck, so we know, a complete litany of what was done to the truck?
Yeah, well, that's something, I'm sorry, that's something that Clint is gathering right now.
Okay.
We were trying to have a meeting before tonight's meeting, but that wasn't possible. So we were going to try to do it, sometime this week, but now with the events that just happened, I don't know if that's, possible. But yes, they definitely have, complete invoices of all the work that's been done. Matter of fact, I just signed a voucher tonight for the 96 Volvo. We had to repair an exhaust leak, and that was about an $800 bill.
And you said you use different vendors, so you use different mechanics and...
Different companies just trying to get that problem fixed with that 2002.
Okay, and also, you said you borrowed Westfield's. How come we didn't borrow Fanwood's?
Because their truck was in for a diesel retrofit. So it was kind of a perfect storm where their truck was down, both of our trucks were broken, and through the contacts that the new superintendent has, outreached to Westfield, and they were willing and able to give us a truck for us to use.
Thank goodness for Westfield, would have been overloaded with garbage, and Fanwood come to Garwood.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Moving on, public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, state your full name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Very short, in yours said 323 Avenue Council, I think it's time we bought a new garbage truck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So do I.
Anyone else? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So move, Mayor?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Should we continue on, council? All rise for a moment of silence, dedicating this moment of silence to the mother of Councilman Joseph Stein. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Ms. Ariella. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Westfield Leader and Union County local source advertised on January 7, 2016. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and promptly posted on the Municipal Public Bulletin Board and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk, informing the public in time and place according to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Ms. Ariella, roll call.
Mayor Lombardo?
Here.
Councilman Kukrow?
Here.
Councilman Martin?
Here.
Councilman Matthews?
Here.
Councilman Sarno?
Excused.
Councilwoman Tedisco?
Here.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Here. Ms. Ariella, minutes.
Regular workshop and executive session minutes of the mayor and council held on September 27, 2016.
Do you have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes, Mayor.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Ariella, communications.
New Jersey State League of Municipalities, Mayor's Advisory.
Receive and file.
Garner family, a thank you note.
Receive and file.
Kathy Morse-Vince, Board of Health Secretary minutes.
Receive and file. Okay. Understand. Ordinances, public hearing on ordinance 16-16 as advertised on September 29, 2016. Ms. Ariella, please read ordinance 16-16 by title only.
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance to amend 34-3, Special Law Enforcement Officers, in Article 1, Establishment, Organization, and Administration, in Chapter 34, Police Department, Article 6, Civilian Police Dispatchers, and in Chapter 34, Police Department of the Code of the Borough of Garwood, to revise provisions pertaining to special law enforcement officers and civilian police dispatchers.
Ms. Ariella, did you receive any correspondence?
None, Mayor.
Does anyone present wish to be heard on concerning ordinance 16-16? Seeing none, do you have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 16-16?
So moved.
Second.
Do you have a motion to adopt ordinance 16-16?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Ariella.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Tedesco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye. Moving on to council standing committee reports and other reports. Police, I understand, Council President, you have a report?
Yes, I have a report for police. This is the Garwood Police Department supplemental report. There's a couple bullet points here. Number one, on October 22nd, the Garwood Police will take part in Operation Drop Off between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Residents may drop off old or unused prescription drugs at police headquarters, where a drop-off box will be set up in the hall fronting the communications center. No syringes will be accepted. Number 2, the Union County Prosecutor's Office, in conjunction with the Union County Police Chiefs Association, has entered into a memorandum of agreement with Trinitas Hospital to establish a Union County Narcan Assistance Program. The program will provide Union County law enforcement agencies with the Narcan anti-opiate antidote to assist in combating narcotic overdoses. The program addresses replenishment, treatment, and follow-up with recovery. Chief Underhill points out that unfortunately no community is immune to the evils of drug abuse. Being able to get Narcan to victims will continue to save lives, and the program will now assist with the costs in every town it occurs, as well as the addresses and victims' recovery efforts. That's all from my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the police report? Hearing none. Public Health, Councilwoman Kukrow.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Streets and Roads, and Ecology Council President Petrozelli.
Thank you, Mayor. The DPW completed their recurring activities. In addition to the recurring activities, they finished the street signs that were on the list by the police department to replace those signs. They are still pruning the borough trees. And on a shared service note, the Fanwood chipper is in Garwood, and it's going to be used by the Garwood personnel for those trees. And that's all from my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the streets report? Hearing none. Fire, Councilwoman Kukrow.
Thank you, Mayor. There were 13 incidents, 4 alarm activations, 2 motor vehicle accidents, 2 gas leaks, 1 spill at the brook, 4 mutual aid, Linden twice, 29 hours, Cranford 2 hours, Union 3 hours. Total man hours 77, all alarms. September meeting, 22 men, 33 hours. Drill, it was pump training, water rescue, high water training, 15 men, 30 hours. Extra duty pump drill, 3 men, 6 hours. That's all for my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments on the fire report? Hearing none. Finance, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Laws and License, Councilman Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight there was one application for a bingo license. The Laws and License Committee recommends the adoption of resolution number 16-275. The application of a bingo license to be on November 4th, 2016 at the Knights of Columbus, 37 South Avenue, Garwood, New Jersey, by the Cerebral Palsy League. That is all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Recreation, Councilman Martin.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Garwood Senior Citizens Liaison, Councilwoman Kukrow.
Thank you, Mayor. There were 48 people attended this past meeting. Everybody welcomed new member Laura Griffith. Eileen DiPaolo donated lots of pretzels to the group and said she is thinking about everyone even though she can no longer attend any group meetings. November 2nd, there is going to be a breakfast at the Westwood giving out lots of goodies and freebies. More info will follow. If anyone is going to be taking the bus to Bosco's on November 16th, please call Ann Romano to reserve your seat on the bus. December 1st is the Christmas party at the Westwood. It's going to be $15 per person for Garwood residents, $20 for non-residents. Please call Patsy for further info and to RSVP. Paulette, the director, spoke and said that other towns are looking to maybe combine some of the senior groups and are looking for new members. She was looking for a consensus to see if the group would be interested. She also wants to remind everyone if they are not getting the quarterly newsletter, please call her and she will make sure to send it out and put them on the distribution list. Charles Clarkson had a wonderful presentation about all things Medicare as open enrollment is starting on October 15th. He also gave everyone some nice materials as well as speaking about the top 10 red flags to be on the lookout for that target seniors. He also wants everyone to also be very diligent about fraud. Medicare fraud costs the taxpayers approximately $60 billion. We also want to make everyone aware that new Medicare cards are going to be generated 2016 to 2018. They're starting a campaign to educate everyone about what is going to change and what it means to everyone. They're going to be removing the Social Security numbers and replace it with an ID number to hopefully cut down on fraud. I also received the monthly menu letter calendar from Tony Sosnowski from Kenilworth Seniors. I made copies and handed them all out. We also had small Italian subs and birthday cake. That's all for my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments about the report? We'll do Library Maze Representative, Council President Petrozelli.
Thank you, Mayor. This week, the library launched Tutor.com. Tutor.com is an online tutoring service that offers one-on-one tutoring to students in grades K through 12 and beyond. The live tutors are experts in more than 25 subjects, including math, science, social studies, English, and foreign language study. Tutor.com also offers essay review, resume and cover letter help, and SAT, ACT, AP, GED, and citizenship test preparation. The service will be provided as a link on the library website. It will be accessible in the library or go on almost any device, including tablets and smartphones. Just go to the library website, click on Tutor.com icon, enter your library card number, and you can connect with a live tutor between the hours of 3 and 10 p.m. Test prep, flashcards, and other resources available 24/7. This service is funded by a grant from the Union County Freeholders for Children's Program. On the 13th at 6:45 p.m., John Nolan and John Cronin, our local experts on all things baseball, will present a talk on the Same City World Series. On the 20th at 3 p.m., the library will present Discover Green. Children will meet various animals and learn what they can do to help protect the earth. In November, the library will present a nutrition program for seniors. In December, Santa will be visiting the library again on the 3rd. The library will also continue its regular programs, including Kids Craft Thursdays on the 29th that's September 29th at 3 p.m. Knitting Club every Monday, Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Bilingual knitting class every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Story time every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Schoolhouse chess every Wednesday at 3 p.m. through November 1st. Movie time every Friday at 10 a.m. Adult craft Tuesday, October 18th at 6 p.m. And the Lego Club Thursday, October 13th and the 27th at 3 p.m. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Any comments on the library report?
I
Yes.
do. What was the one thing you had about the seniors?
Seniors.
Nutrition program.
Yeah, that's for the, they will, in November, the library will present a nutrition program for seniors.
Is it for the whole month?
There's just two, I'm the director,
I
so.
get
There's two, one the first week, I think it's a Tuesday, and the following week, I believe that's a Wednesday. I'll get you the dates and times.
That'll be great, because this way I can,
Post it.
yeah, thank you.
I will probably have those dates at the next council meeting.
Okay, thank you so much.
If the council doesn't mind, I see our other recipient is here this evening. I'd like to make the presentation at this time.
Thank you.
Office of the Mayor Certificate of Merit. Carla has been a dynamo for the Garwood Public Library this last year through her energy and passion. She has made many amazing things happen at the Garwood Public Library for those of our community who have difficulty with the English language. As a result of her efforts, she was recently awarded the 2016 Library Volunteer Award by the Libraries of Union County Consortium. Through Carla's efforts, the Garwood Public Library was able to provide ESL classes. She launched adult education classes at the library that allows Spanish-speaking adults to continue their secondary education. She started bilingual knitting club as well as very popular children's chess club with bilingual instructions. Her nonprofit organization, Ability Alliance, with a special grant, was able to donate 5 laptops to the library. The Alliance also permitted us to borrow 5 more laptops for library use in various programs. Congratulations on your accomplishments and wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for everybody to give me this nice certificate, and I really want to continue working with my community, working here in the community with all the programs that we have for children, youth, and right now, for example, we have 3 youth participating here. Stand Up Girls. That is a new program that we want to continue, and we wanted to motivate the youth to go to college and trying to see how we can just like help them more to achieve all the dreams that they have. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
Thank you
Well,
so much.
Thank you. Okay, school board liaison, does anyone have a report for the school board? Okay, no report. Celebration of the public events and holidays, liaison, Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to remind everyone that there will be a Halloween house decorating contest, and they extended the registration deadline to October 17th, so you can register your house by emailing garwoodcelebrations@garwood.org with your address so that the judges will be sure to take a look at your decorations. The pumpkin decorating contest will take place on Saturday, October 29th at 5 p.m. next to the PTA-sponsored Trick or Trunk at Lincoln School and First Aid Squad parking lots. Prizes will be given, and that's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the report? Hearing none, Union County Air Traffic Noise Advisory Board Representative, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Administrative Review Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor. All right. The Administrative Review Committee held its third meeting on Thursday, October 6th. First, I'd like to mention an item we focused on at our last committee meeting that appears on tonight's agenda as Resolution 16-279. The Administrative Review Committee discussed the Union County ballot question for this year's general election to take place on November 8th, which asks the public for an extension on the open space tax. This current taxation is not set to expire until 2020, but it appears on this year's election ballot with no provision for sunsetting or expiring at a future point in time. Considering input from residents about open space and matching grants from Union County, the Administrative Review Committee discussed the impact on Garwood taxpayers and unanimously decided to direct the clerk to prepare a resolution for tonight's agenda for the council to consider. The purpose of Resolution 16-279 is to raise awareness of the Garwood public, other Union County municipalities, and the county freeholders to the essential double taxation this creates. In order to obtain money from the Union County Open Space Trust Fund, Garwood and other municipalities must match it dollar for dollar. In other words, in order to use $50,000 of the county grant, Garwood must raise taxes $50,000 for a total taxation of $100,000. We'd rather not get our money back with strings attached. We want to take a stand against these matching funds because it raises the people's taxes twice by raising it on both the county and municipal levels in order for taxpayers to have their original tax dollars work for them by improving their parks, etc. It's important to note the Garwood Council has passed up on opportunities to apply for the Recreation Trust Fund grant for the past 2 years because we as a council didn't want to raise municipal taxes in order to match those funds. In our effort to be fiscally responsible, we unfortunately had to lose out on the opportunity to get some of our county tax dollars back. This resolution encourages the freeholders to revise their method of enabling municipalities to utilize these funds, specifically the matching grants, and also to work to inform citizens of the rationale of this ballot question. We hope our fellow elected officials will join us tonight in voting yes for Resolution 16-279. Also, the main focus of the committee for our past 3 meetings has been updates, revisions, and modifications to the Personnel Policy Handbook. The various aspects of the personnel policy have come to our attention from experiences of our administrative staff as well as the best practices put out by the state. Revisions to this handbook are intended to bring the borough up to date. The borough administrator, with input from the committee, is in the process of making those revisions. So after she is done with that, the handbook must be reviewed by legal counsel and then presented to the entire mayor and council in executive session for comment and review. Labor Council will also be included in our process where the mayor and council will collectively provide input in executive session. Certain sections of the handbook are policies adopted by council, by resolution, and other parts are done by ordinance. So it is estimated that this process will roll over into 2017 as it is a very time-consuming process. And that's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any comments? Hearing none. Historical Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor. So, all right. Almost everyone has a family member or friend who has been touched by one or more of the many wars and conflicts that the United States was drawn into. Sadly, many of those serving in the armed forces did not come home, and thankfully many did return. Unfortunately, many of those returning were injured, with several of them receiving the Order of the Purple Heart Medal, being wounded in battle. Many also received the medal posthumously as they were either killed in action or died of wounds received in battle. On Saturday, November 12th, the Garwood Historical Committee will be honoring those servicemen and women who received the Purple Heart. At the Georgiana Guerrieri Memorial Park at the corner of 4th and Walnut Streets, there stands a pink memorial stone commemorating those who are Purple Heart recipients, and that was put in 5 years ago. Not just from our community, but from all of Union County. The ceremony will begin at noon at the Memorial Park, again on Saturday, November 12th, and all are invited to attend. We would like to extend our invitation to all veterans in the community, especially those who are Purple Heart recipients. If you or someone you know who is or was a resident of Garwood and received this medal, please contact us at garwoodhistory@garwood.org so that they may be formally recognized. And that's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on this historical committee?
Councilwoman, what was the date again on that?
Sure, November 12th, Saturday at noon.
Thank you.
Okay, parking committee, is anyone from that committee has a report, or we'll wait for the councilman to come back?
I would rather wait for them to come back, because
Okay.
we did have a meeting.
Fine, and I also have been reviewing some of my old emails, before even to the committee pertaining to parking in the borough. Okay. All right, public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, state your full name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Sorry.
Definitely so.
The council, Bill Neer says 320 Hickory, the council, is going to be discussing the redevelopment, the finance person. So for what it's worth, I've been through a lot of these just to pass on some thoughts you can consider or ask the people who respond to the RFP. Their job is really to do 3 or 4, maybe 3 things. First is to determine if the costs that the developer is indicating to you are his costs are accurate. 2, to indicate that his profit is within acceptable margins. And 3, to help you in terms of development of the pilot. The pilot is tied into the redeveloper's agreement, and I really encourage you to make sure that whoever you hire has the experience, has worked in other communities, knows how the whole pilot system, I'll just say, works, and that you just have someone who's very capable and can assist us properly. As always, if you have any assistance, give me a call. But those are the main reasons you're hiring him or her, and just make sure they're familiar with it.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I have one question.
Sure.
What constitutes an acceptable limit for profit?
You just took the words out.
And that's a very good question to ask the finance expert. I think the bottom line is within the industry there are acceptable standards. When you see the cost that he indicates for the environmental cleanup, for instance, I don't know what they are, but you have to make sure that the finance person has to make sure that what he's saying as far as costs really are, and that's tied into what he says his profit is going to be. And I think that's a very good question to ask that person. I'm not going to stand there, I don't know an exact number. It's not my area of expertise. But I think it's important for everybody to realize that. I don't want to get into the whole big picture of the redevelopment, but obviously it has to make a profit. He's not going to do it, he's not going to make a profit. But that profit has to be reasonable. And where you find that it's not reasonable, if you find that that profit is extravagant in some way, if the finance person gives you that recommendation or that finding, that's when you go into the pilot. And that's when you go into the pilot and you say, okay, then your costs are going to have to be changed, or you have to do something. There are certain things that your redevelopment attorney is going to advise you can discuss in the pilot, and that pilot and those financial findings are very much tied together. I'm sorry I can't answer your question directly.
Yeah, that's giving me a problem. I just don't understand if a developer is smart and a good business person and can make a 25% profit by being smart, by being experienced, by doing the right things. Who's to say that that's excessive?
Will they pay federal income tax? No, I'm sorry, different question. There's a difference between being smart and intelligent, and I think it's up to the council, and part of the whole redevelopment process. What you're doing is you're allowing a developer to proceed outside of the norm of zoning. This is a plan you're adopting for this property. So there's going to be give and take in it. And it's up to the council to make certain that the profit that he's making is reasonable, but not excessive. And that's something that you're going to depend upon your finance expert to help you with. And council, I think what it comes down to really is, if he's not going to make a profit, he's not going to come here. So he's going to make something, and he has to make something, or else we're going to be looking, I won't get into the pro or con of development, but just that he's entitled to make something. Typically, I'm going to give you a number, 6%. It's typical.
6% return on investment for a development that might cost $60 or $70 million.
But then keep in mind, he owns the property, obtaining income over the course of that time period. So there's additional, income over the course of time.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
Can't believe I'm doing this. My name is Pam Toth, I live at 64 Fourth Ave. I've been in Garwood about 27 years, and when I talk about this whole construction and everything else, unlike Mr. Gosh, he's my neighbor, stood up and said, I never heard about all of this going on. I am very involved. I used to be very involved. My daughter went off to college at a school, and I'm uninvolved, but I left this whole thing to the people I trusted and sat back and kind of, I found out about the meeting about a month ago, came to the meeting, and I'm a little concerned about the tabling of the instruction or whatever. I don't understand it all. I'm just trying to figure out, as long as everybody knows everything that's been going on. Has there been any study of impact on the flow of traffic? I drive through this town and go, I was here 10 years ago, it's much easier, it's harder and harder. You add 5, 6, 100 people, 1,000 people, what's traffic going to be like at 5 o'clock?
Well, when their site plan is put forward to the planning board, there will be a traffic study attached to that, and we'll know the answers at
And
that point.
will that, all your studies include, all right, if something happens, that a lot of kids do come in with the schools? No, I'm saying if you said, I understand the building's not going to have, not expected to have children, but if you did, you can't tell people they can't have kids, can you?
According to his proposal, they're talking about 28 children between the kindergarten and the 12th grade.
What if he's wrong? What's your plan then? Once we have the kids, we have to educate them. Do you have a backup plan? I just want to see something like that. I'm so uninvolved in what's going on and how the whole town works. These are just my concerns that keep bothering me. Things like our additional costs. You have more people. You're going to have more needs for the town, whether it be the fire inspector, the fire department, the fire inspectors, just the administration addressing the townspeople. Have you thought about that? Where you need to hire more people, the additional costs. I understand there's a lot I don't understand. I don't know.
Well, just real quick, and I can only refer to his report at this point. It's going to be about 60% of our current costs will be added to what we have going on. So with this 40% percentage that we'll be getting increased, because it's going to go from 80,000 K to approximately 150,000 K for taxes.
800. 800.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
Okay, and you also will have the expense of a new fire truck. You'll have to probably pass a bond to do that. I think last time you passed with the school. But I'm just saying, I'm sure eventually you'll have all these things considered. These are things I think about. Additional staff, you have more number of garbage pickup. With the new truck, I hope.
There is no garbage pickup. It's all it's self-contained.
It's all the whole thing. We don't have to deal with that at all.
Or walking, no road work, no picking up garbage. The main thing basically is police and fire that we'll be looking at in the future for costs.
Okay, I just had to ask a question. And you'll advise us all when you do.
Well, one of the questions was asked at the meeting that basically we're going to try our best. As soon as the developer is named, we're gonna have town meetings. So hopefully more of that information will be getting out.
Okay, I've just been, so uninvolved and for so long. Now it's time to get back in.
Mrs. Toth, if I may, Mayor, I don't want, just having the mayor speak, have you believe that there's one opinion up here, there's a multiplicity of opinions up here. And I wanted to just mention that to you. First thing is, it is the position of the Garwood Fire Department that we need a ladder truck now, whether or not that happens. All right, so I just want to make that clear. I know that for a fact. I've been fire commissioner for 2 years. The other thing I just want to make clear to you too is the number one concern I hear from people in the borough is the number of kids in the school. And basically, the estimate for the number of kids in the school is just that, it's an estimate. And what I say to people is, if they're wrong, and it's 38 or 58, they don't tear the building down. That's our problem after that. But it's a very good question, and just so you know, it's the number one concern I hear voiced by Garwood residents. How many children will this generate for our school?
And I remember what it took to build that school, when they just built it. It was, almost questionable, it should have been bigger when we finished. So,
Yes.
I thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming forward, we appreciate that.
I can't believe I did.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll continue on to unfinished business. Do we have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Mayor, I'd like to amend the
Okay.
consent agenda. I'd like to motion that we delete 16-276. As I stated earlier, I wanted to, in light of what the state has done, pull back from tonight's consent agenda.
Do I have a motion to accept the amended consent agenda?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to, okay, roll call, Ms. Ariella?
Councilman Capro?
Yes.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Matthew?
Yes.
Councilman Desko?
Yes.
And Council President Petrozelli?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Do we have any new business for the council this evening? Hearing none. Ms. Ariella, payment of claims.
Be resolved, the following claims as approved, be and the same are hereby ordered paid and properly signed and verified, and the payment of payrolls as listed hereby confirmed and ratified.
Do I have a motion to adopt payment of claims?
So moved, Mayor?
Second.
Roll call, Ms. Ariella.
Councilman Capro?
Yes.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Matthew?
Aye.
Councilwoman Tedesco?
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli?
Aye.
Recommend,
Nope. I'm going to executive session now. I'm not going to executive session.
Ms. Ariella, would you please read the resolution for executive session?
Yes, Mayor. Resolution 16282, closed session resolution authorizing executive session for the purpose of discussing contract negotiations. I'm sorry, that's not supposed to be contract negotiations. Discussions regarding the point at, well, I guess it is, right, Bob, contract negotiations? Maybe, I don't know. Regarding the point at Garwood and matters of attorney-client privilege relating to the above in accordance with NJSA 10-4, closed session meetings open to the public, exclusion of public subject of matter. Where it is necessary for the mayor and council of the Borough of Garwood to conduct an executive session closed to the public in order to discuss the above listed matter. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the Borough of Garwood, hereby move to go into executive session according to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act for the purpose of discussing the subject stated above, and be it further resolved that the matters discussed in and the minutes of the closed session shall be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality no longer exists.
Roll call, Ms. Ariella.
Motion to adopt it, please.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Who said it?
Sarah and Lou.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthew.
Aye.
Councilwoman Tedesco.
Aye.
And Council President Petrozelli.
Aye.
Just for the public, I don't anticipate there'll be any formal action taken after the executive session.
Do you want to say that?
Should we go with that? Yeah.